Hi YouTube, it's me Sharia and I am back. Here to do a real quick emergency fund update. So if you clicked on the title, you already know what I'm about to talk about. And so if obviously if I obviously you saw the video the top. Damn. Okay. Sorry. Obviously you saw the title. And it's true, I have emptied out my emergency fund. So if you watch my other videos, you know that my emergency fund was not completely funded. I did not have the $1,000. So it was about at $656, and I put about $135 in there a month. One of my I guess she's a subscriber, but somebody commented and said that maybe I should stop paying debt and fund my emergency fund, and I think that's what I'm gonna have to do. So if you're wondering what the stupid item was that I emptied out my emergency fund for, it was tires. So the fact that I had to buy tires is not stupid, and I really don't think that buying tires for my car was stupid, because my tires were bad. I knew I needed them, but my plan was to use, my husband had bought some online, but then they ended up being the wrong price. So I had prepared for them. I had like a short sinking fund for tires. The tires we bought online were like $250, and I just saved up like 100, and then 125, and then 25. And he bought the tires, but they were the wrong size. So although they were the size that came off my car, I don't know how that had happened, but obviously, anyhow, they say that my rim size was a 17 and the tires we ordered were a 16. Anyhow, so that was not technically stupid. What makes it stupid is that I didn't take the time to shop around. So I took my car to the dealership for them to change my oil and do my inspection, put the tires on, and do a wheel alignment. So anyway, I was at the dealership to get the tires put on. They had already taken the tires off. They changed my oil first. They had already taken the tires off. And then that's when they found out that I had the wrong size tire, because the tire wouldn't fit on the rim. So the person came back to me and he was like, the tires won't fit on the rim. You bought the wrong size tire. You need a size 17, and these are 16s, and it won't go on the rim. Blah, 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 blah. So, mind you, I had a donut on my car because the tire had went flat the day before. So, he was like, I said, well, I can only afford for you to fix the flat, repair the donut, and then put the rest of my tires back on. And so he had said that they were going to have to charge me for labor, because since I wasn't putting new tires on, and that they had already taken the pins out of the tire. So that was going to be like an hour, and then for them to put the pins back in the tire and then put the old tires back on was going to be, they were going to have to charge it separate, because the labor is only free when they put a full set of tires on. It doesn't make sense to me. But then when they put then they put the tires back on, and then he said, well, no, before they put the tires back on, they were getting ready to put the tires back on, and he came to me and he said, well, the tires are too slick, it won't pass inspection, and now that we have taken the tires off, it's a liability on the dealership if we put the tires back on and allow you to drive off. So what you'll have to do is, so I explained to him, like, I need my car and I need to go. And, they insisted that it was a liability. They could hold the car there until I went and got some tires and then came back. But by this time, it was 3:35. I had been there since 1:19, and shortly before they came, my son had texted me and said that he was locked out. So I was in the middle of a crisis. and I really needed the tires put on. So if you're waiting to hear what the damage was, so like I said, I had $656 in my emergency fund, and the total came up to $681. Not to mention that when he came and told me, when I finally told him that he needed that I would just go ahead and pay for the tires, which was $5.99 including tax, that I wouldn't be able to afford anything else. My exact words were, he came back, he told me that the tires were going to be $5.99. That included tax. And I asked him, did that include the wheel alignment? And he said, well, you can get a wheel alignment later. I said, that is fine, because after I purchase these tires, I won't be able to afford anything else. He patted me on the shoulder, and then he left. So I'm trying to figure out what else do they need to do, since they keep telling me that my tires are on. And he's like, well, now it's on the wheel alignment. Wait a minute. I said no wheel alignment. As a matter of fact, I said I can't afford anything else after I pay for these tires. So that meant no inspection. That meant no oil change. That literally meant put these damn tires on and let me drive up out of here. But what did they do? They did the oil change. They put the tires on. They did the wheel alignment. And they did the inspection. So I am pissed, because they originally told me that my total was going to be like 60 something. And I was like, for what? He told me $5.99. Well, who is he? Well, he is the person in the green shirt and the khaki pants, blah, 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 blah. And I repeated the whole conversation. And so the person that was actually checking me out was like, oh, well, nobody is telling me, and so I don't know. I'm the middleman. Well, look, that's not my fault. I'm not paying for all of that. And so he was like, well, man, we already did it. I'm not paying for all of that. I specifically said I cannot afford anything else other than you putting on these tires. But we did the oil change first. I'm not paying for that. I specifically said I cannot afford anything else once I put on these tires. Well, I'm just the middleman. Nobody's communicating with me. Hey, you didn't communicate with me. Let's not make this my fault. So, needless to say, the $681 that I end up having to pay was for the tires and the oil change, but I did not pay for the inspection and the wheel alignment, because that wasn't my fault. And the man even came over that I was actually talking to about how I can't afford anything else, and he kind of tried to make it seem like I was the one who was not clear. But by this time, one, I don't know if my son has gotten in the house, and two, I don't care who y'all say is to blame. I'm not paying for it. However y'all have to justify that, y'all do that, but I'm not paying for it. So I did pay for the new tires and the inspection, or the oil change. I paid for one of them, but they're the same price. But anyhow, so if you're wondering, so what about the deficits? Because like I said, I had $656 and it came up to $681. I actually put half on my credit card. I know, don't judge me. The one that I actually had taken out of my wallet but put it back in specifically for this. Not because I thought I was going to have to use it, but just in case. So I put half on my credit card, and I put the whole thing on my credit card, and then I took everything out of my emergency fund except for the $25 I have to keep in there to keep the account open, and paid the credit card off. So I am back at a $25 emergency fund. But like I said, my plan is to stop paying debt and get my emergency fund, if not back to where it was, to at least at least back to where it was, but I'm thinking about just doing 500 and 500 because I told you, or 1,000, just the whole 1,000 probably, because I was paying $1,000 on my credit card, and getting that fully funded. So things like this don't affect me so drastically anymore. So if you've had to empty out your emergency fund here lately, let me know what you had to do. Was it really an emergency? Do you think my tires were an emergency, or should I handle it a different way? And what would you do? Would you stop paying your credit card or getting out of credit card debt? Though I'm only like 2 payments away from being completely credit card debt free, and fund your emergency fund, or would you leave the emergency fund where it is, finish paying the debt? Because technically, if I paid the debt off, which I have like $1,300 left, then the next month I could probably put the whole thing into my emergency fund. But you let me know what you think. Y'all give great advice. Thanks. Let me know what you comment in the comments below. And if you haven't already subscribed, please do. And follow me on all my other social media. Thanks for watching. Bye. After I drove the car off the lot, it broke down. Like, I started hearing this knocking in the engine. And so I took it to a mechanic who told me